Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Transforming Reflections, where we talk about all things hair loss and do it for free because this industry needs more free hair loss education and just more free education in general. So, anyway, we are going to start off today continuing our conversation from last time where we were talking about building brands. So, last week we talked about the authenticity that goes behind building your brand and really building that no trust factor inside of your business. So this week we're going to talk about building a brand that builds trust personally. So what that really means is you want your guests, your potential guests, to understand who you are without having to ask. Okay. They need to have the emotional experience, that visual experience, and that understanding of who you are, what you stand for, and what you really do before they even come to you. So, good examples of this are looking at those big name brands. Like if you're scrolling Instagram and you see a post and immediately you're like, oh, that's probably so and so. That's what we're talking about here, okay? So this is gonna come down to how you edit your photos, what kind of colors you use, what kind of fonts you use. And I do want to point out that this isn't specific to a salon, okay? If you own a salon and you're a salon owner, that's great because yes, you also need a brand, but we're not just talking about a logo here. We're talking about something more personalized and more strategic than just font and color scheme. This is really that experience that your client gets before they're even actually in your chair and getting an experience with you. Okay. So, we want to go beyond the aesthetics and the logos and really talk about how just your branding can build a certain amount of trust in your potential guests or in your following. Because yes, we've all seen those salons and those stylists who have a really aesthetic brand. But does that mean that they're actually making money? Just because you have followers doesn't mean you have paychecks. So we want to make sure that these two things coincide because if you listen to our last episode, what happens when we have things that are out of place and don't necessarily fit like a puzzle? It loses trust, right? As a buyer, that person is like, well, this doesn't necessarily add up to this. So, for example, let's say you have a beautiful Instagram, but when they come into your salon, it's messy. It's 10,000 degrees because you don't have central air. You have dirt and grime all over the place, but your Instagram is this very polished, posh place. Now we have a disconnect, right? So now that client is immediately going to lose trust in a situation because they feel duped. Now let's flip that around the other way. Let's say your Instagram is hodgepodge. Your pictures are blurry. If you have pictures, they're usually somebody else's. The client has no idea who you are, where you come from. But then they step into your salon space and they're like, damn, this is awesome. All right. So then they're gonna have this whole well, why isn't she marketing? Why isn't she hi, Lisa. Why isn't, why is there this disconnect, right? So we want to make sure that your branding not only fits you, fits your personality, fits your everything, but we want to also make sure that branding conveys the same amount of trust that your posts do, that you yourself do, and all that goes together. So continuing on that branding topic, we also need to define what your brand actually is. And this necessarily isn't your salon brand. This is your personal brand. So even as a salon owner, I have a personal brand. I am unique in my salon compared to the other girls. And this is another reason why I wholeheartedly believe in, I own a commission salon, not exclusively marketing for your stylist because they need to be able to find what their unique brand is. They need to be able to find, what their voice is on the internet. And that is going to be unique to every single person. Every single one of us is unique. So, with that, I think that's a really beautiful situation because especially in a large salon setting, if you have different types of stylists that are able to authentically market to who they are and who their individual brands are, you're going to be able to draw in more people. And your core values are always going to be the same, right? Because as a salon, we market to our core values and we build those on. But if each individual of your stylists can be a little different, show their quirks, show their expertise, show their different vibes within that space, it's going to be really unique in the experience that you're able to customize to each individual client that comes in. So that's really important too. But being able to define what your individual brand is, what feeling do you want to give people when they book with you, when they talk with you, when they have any kind of experience with you? So if you get into like brand colors and things like that can even make a difference. Your fonts can communicate certain things. So these are all things that like I highly recommend just playing around with it. And maybe on a salon owner side of things, you give your girls like a package of things like, hey, here's our general branding. Take this and run with it. But with every single thing, I want to see X, Y, and Z. Maybe we get like kind of broad in that spectrum. So for us, we have like general colors, black, white is like really prominent. If you look at my personal brand, you'll see a lot of like muted, moody tones. However, like if you go to Haley's page, it's like very bubbly and bright and cheery. Ariana's is kind of a mixture of the two. Ariana likes more warm colors. I tend to pull more cool colors into my things. So, but in with all that, we all have a very like uniform kind of way that we do things. So let your stylist or let yourself differ from that like salon norm just a little bit, just to kind of create that experience. So this should go into everything about your consultation, your pricing. I am a big believer in pricing transparency. I know there's a lot of like stylists out there that don't believe in that wholeheartedly. I want all of my clients to know the blanket of pricing that they could encounter in my salon. So because if even the lowest number that they find is like not for them, cool. That just saved me some time. Okay. But like as a buyer, if I go into something and I can't find a single price, I'm like, well, fuck. Is it one of those places where like if you got to ask the price, you can't afford the price? Because that's immediately what I think. And there are certain things that, yeah, I'm like, I'm in, I'm going to do it no matter what. But not most of the time, right? Especially when I'm looking into a service. This goes back to that trust conversation that we were having last time. It's a point where you could potentially lose trust in someone. And on the concept of like the hair loss side of things, right? If you're dealing with someone who already has severe trust issues because they've probably been fucked over by a lot of stylists in the past, if they can't find a base level price from you, they're probably going to be like next and move on. Okay. So this even goes into that. And then your long term client loyalty is a big thing too. Like, what clients do you have that have been with you forever? Don't be afraid to actually sit down and be like, hey, what keeps you coming back? Like, what is it that I do that is really unique? Or what is it that you just absolutely love experiencing here that just like keeps you referring people, keeps you coming back? Because sometimes the thing about your brand that is like the most prominent to everybody else, you don't even recognize. So, like, don't be afraid to ask your clients, to ask your friends, to ask even your stylist if you're like, hey, what is it about this place that like you wanted to come work here in the first place? Like, that's okay too. So this is also a bigger picture. If you're a salon owner, this is going to be into not only marketing to like clients, but you also want to constantly have a specific brand around your culture and your dynamic that you're sharing occasionally, especially if you're a commission salon, because let's face it, like people come and go, right? So we always need to have that like hiring mindset, just to keep that in and keep that space where stylists want to come work for us, whether we're hiring or not. We definitely want it to always be somewhere that if we were to post a we're hiring post, that we'd have hits and leads immediately, right? So keep that in mind too. So the tone of your DMs, the way you speak in your captions, and then transferred over into the way you speak in your forms, like all of that needs to be uniform. So, for example, for me, y'all know I come on here, I speak in my voice all the time, whether that's in my posts, whether that's on my stories. If you go to my website, if you read my book, like it's all written in my voice, because that's authentic to me, right? So, whatever's authentic to you, speak in that way. So, moving on to what I call the three pillars of trust inside of a brand, you need clarity, you need consistency, and you need character. So, your possible client, your like prospect here needs to see everything clearly. They need to see it over and over in the same ways, and they need to automatically know who you are and your character. So that clarity side of things, we need to be able to make sure that our offers and pricing are easy to understand. This is where for me, like, and I'm sure there's a lot of stylists out here too. You do it every day, right? So, like, what's normal to you and what is duh to you isn't duh to somebody else. And a lot of times we get stuck in that like loop of being like, oh, nobody knows or nobody cares what I have to say. Like, the only thing I have to say is something just like really bland. It might be bland to you, but it might be fucking mind-blowing to somebody else, okay? So, especially, like, let's go back to the hair loss analogy, right? Like, things that I just know off the top of my head because I'm a psychopath, that you guys are here listening to me talk about every single day, okay? So, just even in that, like, little kind of thing, like, the things that you know matter, and it doesn't matter if your client's hearing it for the first time or the 50th time. How many things do we learn all the time that, like, you're like, "Dude, I've heard that before." People have told me that before, but for some reason, the way you said it clicked. I do that all the time. Like, I literally have things like that happen all the time. So, just because you're saying it for what you think or feel like is the thousandth time, or you think it doesn't really matter, like, say it again. It's okay. Explain it in a different way. Explain it in a deeper way or a more shallow way or like hyperbole or whatever, but explain it again. Consistency is another one. Do your consultation, your language, your policies. Does everything say the same thing? A lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, I update things and then forget that I actually had a thing in another thing that linked to the thing, and then all of a sudden you have a client that's like, "Hey, I was reading through this and it says this over here and that over there," and you're like, my bad, Deborah. I'm just a fucking idiot. So, let me circle back and this is actually the right one. And so sorry, I'm so stupid. So yeah, that happens, right? Like we're human beings. So anytime you're updating things, just kind of go through your process like a client would, and make sure that everything is the same. Especially on things like cancellation policies and stuff like that. There's always that like one thing. I swear to God, it's like when a credit card, you have to like get a new credit card, and there's always that one bill it's on auto pay, and you're like, motherfucker, because you get that like, hey, we haven't received your payment, and you're like, hey, sorry, please don't turn that off. So it's like that, right? You update a policy and you're like, oh, son of a bitch. So don't get weird about it. Literally just like go update it. You're fine, but make sure everything is consistent. And then with that, your character. Who are you at the end of the day? And this is something that can shift and change as you shift and change. I encourage everyone, scroll back in time to OG Instagram on my page. Like it'll take a while, but get back there. Girl did not know what she was doing, okay? Like, it was 2019 and we were confused. So just understand, like, as you're scrolling and, like, even go back and look at your own Instagram. Like, I think that's really powerful to see how far you've come, see, like, what evolves over time, and know that that's all right. So what do you want to make people feel when they read your posts? Who do you want to come across as? What kind of heart is behind yourself, your brand, right? So understanding what that is too. Da, da, da. Let's see.
I have a question for you.
Da, da, da. And then also like being very transparent and honest to what your goal of achieving people is, right? Like, if you're sitting here and trying to gather more clients just to have more money and all that behind the chair, like it's not going to communicate very authentically, right? So really sit with yourself. And sometimes this is even one of those like when we do get burnout or when we do just like not feel that spark behind the chair anymore, just sitting and being like, what do I want out of my career? What do I want to do with this? Because most of the time, once you sit and dig, you're realizing that like there's something that's off key, right? So every time I've ever felt like not in it anymore or like I just don't want to show up, it's like, okay, what needs tweaked so that I do? And like occasionally, if it's just one day here or there, it's probably you're just tired and need some water, right? Like just girl, hydrate and have a snack. But if you're noticing like week after week that like the thought of going to work just makes you want to like slam your head against a wall, something's off, right? So sit and be like, okay, what is it? What do I need to change? Because if you're feeling like a fraud or you're feeling phony or you're feeling like you don't want to show up or when you do show up, it is fraud or it is like just not connecting, then find what does connect and shift. It's okay to pivot. That is one thing that I swear by in this entire industry. It's okay to pivot. Listen to that.
Are you able to hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I'll touch base on the pivot thing first.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is so hard, but I feel like I feel like I have been stuck in the box.
Yeah.
And like I've been training people for like 20 some years. And like I've done like Lacey's program, which has been great.
Yeah.
Super organized and it's been wonderful. But like it's an interesting thing because I'm like, I hate to even say it out loud sometimes, like I don't want to train new people anymore.
Yeah.
I still will, but I don't.
Right.
It's not the same as like you get tired of talking about the same way to take color off the skin and they can't come back out with color because I'm craving a higher level discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it's like that's why I feel like I've been disconnected with hiring new humans because
Yes.
it's a part of me that like, and I have children that are literally the same age. So I'm pretty
Right.
sure that's probably part of it where I'm like, but that whole pivoting, I'm like, how do I still remain supportive inside of my company
Mm-hmm.
to bring in new humans
Yes.
and
And not want to like throw things at them for fun.
yeah.
Fair.
Because I've been doing it for 20 years that like I'm tired
Yes.
of doing that.
Right.
I'm very over that. So that's why it scares me because
And because giving away that like piece of it is huge. Like
yes.
that's your foundation of your entire salon. So you're totally justified to be like itchy about that. But it is one of those that is like exhausting after a certain point, especially when you're a parent and you're parenting at home and you're parenting at work and you're parenting like in every single aspect of your life. And you're like, "Eh, I have to instruct one more human on how to be a human. I think I'm gonna like eat
Yes.
bleach. Like it's gonna happen. I'm gonna play in
Yes.
traffic." So yeah,
Yes.
so in your salon, just on this like particular thing, do you have someone, a manager? Do you have someone that like you've trained directly and you trust them like balls to the wall or somewhere close? Like, do you have that person in your salon?
Yeah, I feel like the only way for me to give, and I hate to say this, but like to give up control of that
Yeah.
is like I'm gonna have to record everything.
Uh-huh.
And it's the capacity to literally make all of those videos. It's not
Yeah.
to make the videos, it's to take the videos, condense the video, and put it into something else for them to like be able to view it. That's the
Right.
part that I'm like my brain
Itchy.
I
Fair.
like it. I need literally a human. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's like honestly, when I have a human being that's really sitting with me, I can do like a ton of
Body
work.
double.
It's like the weirdest thing. I could never
Yep.
understand it. And
It's a
I'll be
thing.
like, "Hey mom, can you come down here while I do book work?" And she'll be like, "Yeah, what do you need me to do?" I'm like, "If you could just like sort these papers and put them in piles, and I can fly through stuff then."
Yep.
To do it alone, I'm like a lost soul sometimes.
Okay, so my first recommendation would be the person in your salon that is your rock, right?
Yeah.
So bring that person in to help you with this project.
Mhm.
So because that person is then going to be in charge of this product when you're done. Okay. So on Lacey's side of things too, like you've already had that whole thing. Do you have her like structure where all you have to do is put into the videos? Did you do like that level of the thing?
Like on the
Or
Trello?
right.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you have that like
Outline.
skeleton, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then from there, also remember this doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not selling an online course here. Okay. This
Mhm.
isn't something that you're going to have people pay you to get. It can be kind of like, here, I'm going to set a camera up and you're going to watch this entire procedure. And then I'm just going to like yap while I do it. The same way that it would be if you had somebody actually right there with you.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be like this perfectly edited fancy little thing. Like
Yeah.
ours are literally just like when we did a shampoo, we set a tripod like up and
Mhm.
angled it to the shampoo, and I just dictated out what I was doing literally like at the same time.
Okay.
So because you're
Yeah.
also going to have this person that is your rock, right? They're your new hire is just going to watch all these things brain dump style. Like intake, 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 listen to the things, take the notes, whatever, fine. It's going to be pretty basic.
Yeah.
So then they're going to have that like 50% in their head. And then this rock that you have on your team that is going to now be your training manager, that person is going to be like, hey, what your instructions were to watch, videos 1 through 3 over shampoo, where to fold towels, and how to set up X, Y, and Z. Did you do that? Yes. Cool. Great. Now today we're going to get deeper into that. I'm going to actually show you on the clients that I have today and like get deeper in. If you have questions, please ask. Then from there, you can take maybe that's like a sample client. Maybe she can wash out one of your clients that day. And then it's like, you're going to test out. Cool. Great. Now you can do those behind the chair. And it's
Got it.
just like a one
Yeah.
day at a time kind of thing. So
And would you, I mean, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That'll definitely, I'll
it
make her
doesn't
do
have to be
that for
pretty.
me.
Just has to be done.
It's the pretty part that,
Dude, it gets me every
no.
time. I do love some pretty shit, But like then once it's in there, done. It's working for you, right? So then you have that like on the roll and you can start training people. It's off your plate. It's a one and done kind of thing. Then give your new training manager the job of now you're going to go clean these videos up. When you don't have anybody to actively train anymore, she's through phase 1 and now you're just like cuz phase 2 is a lot longer, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
lot more sporadic. Cool. As soon as
Yes.
you're out of phase 1, your job is to now go through phase 1 videos and
Mhm.
make it fancy, make it
Got it.
condensed, take out the things, upload the tests, anything that you want to do there where it can be a little more plug and play for the next one. But like
Mhm.
every single time it just kind of like updates a little bit better and better
Yeah.
and gets less and less like you intensive.
Yeah. Got it. Makes sense. Because
So
that's the
and
part. It's, oh, yeah.
yes, and especially when you are the one having to do it all. Like Ariana trained Haley 100%. I came in to do like little things here and there, or just to be like, hey, will you take a look at this? This is what we've been working on.
Yeah.
Love it. Great. But I'm also not like the capacity isn't there for me to train 100% of the time. I wish it was,
Yeah.
but like I get overwhelmed. I have too
Yeah.
many things on my plate to like focus on everything all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. And Ariana loves it. She loves it. Like that was one of the things that she specifically asked. Like, okay, and then I can do this. I'm like, absolutely. She's like, bet. And she's a details person. So there's so many things that I liked or that I do that I don't even realize I do. So that she just picked up on. So then when I would go to like teach her, she's like, yeah, actually, you're thinking you want me to do it that way, but really you want me to do it this way. So
Yeah.
this is how we actually do that. And like I learned so much when she was training Haley that I was like, I do that, don't I? And she's like, you do.
Mhm.
So chances are like that person even knows you better than you know yourself anyway. So like building on that isn't going to be hard for them.
Yeah. No, it's not. Because she definitely is. Yeah. She definitely knows me and she's been there for
Yeah.
5 years. So like she does
Right.
work with the associates a lot
Okay.
because she's busy and
Yeah.
needs them. But I just feel like we need something else other than, we're good for the first 5 weeks, but then it gets a little bit shady because shit gets deep, right? Like
Right.
we're in it. First 5 weeks, we're like fresh with them. You're like, then that
Yeah.
next portion is a little bit,
That's when like the color stuff comes in and it's just
yeah.
more like technique things that you're like, why are you doing it like that?
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
So,
and then in
okay.
those kind of things too, you could even have, um, like kind of a section of like, here's what not to do. I feel like I learn really well that way. Like, I don't know what not to do until somebody's like, this, don't do that. And I'm like, oh, right. So you could have like one, entire video where you just sloppily put on color and just like literally try to do it the worst way possible. And then like talk the whole time, like, see why this is bad, see why this is bad, see why this is bad. These are all the things we don't want to do.
Right.
'Cause visuals, right? Especially
Yeah.
for
Right.
artists, like we're visual people.
For sure.
So that could be one whole thing to maybe take that out.
Yeah.
Um, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, your girl's gonna get it. Like, and it gives her a whole nother thing too. So then as you see this like need, and if she's somebody that's like, hey, this is cool, I'll do it for now, but like I don't love this, down the line too, then, pick somebody else. Like keep bringing people into that like managerial kind of role if
Yeah.
they're into it. Like just
Right.
it's okay. Again,
Yes.
pivot that.
If you were to, so you were talking about like the different, like, we actually touched base, I think it was 2 weeks ago, on like the different branding, like, we talked briefly about pillars.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So like same thing for you. I would feel like I'm in the same situation where you're you were marketing multiple things,
Mhm.
which is kind of difficult. Like I feel like it's hard for me to figure out, am I supposed to be talking to attract team? Am I talking to still attract my guest? Like I
Right.
feel like and then I'm telling about myself. Like I, I have a difficult time knowing
Who
how
you're
to,
talking to?
yeah. Because I
Yeah.
feel like it's changing, right? Like it changes.
Yeah,
Like I
absolutely.
have to talk to stylists because that's my, you know what I mean? And then I have to talk to
Mhm.
like humans that want to come in for my service. And, so any pointers on when you're talking about multiple things like that?
Yeah, so one thing that I've really leaned into is just speaking on the facts of everything because like that's still going to draw in a little bit of everybody, right? Like
Mm.
I have clients that come to me because of the education I post for stylists. So like cuz I'm in the same boat too, like I'm
Mhm.
educating stylists and then I'm educating my clients and then I'm also trying to post things for other stylists that might want to come work for me in the future kind of to
Mhm.
be there too, right? So I get you. So with that, I just talk about the situation because that situation is going to appeal to clients that have faced it before, but also stylists that are like, oh, she's seen that. And I'll be honest, ChatGPT is fucking amazing for this. Like,
Okay.
if you have something that you're like, okay, I want this to hit this way for this person and this way for this person, how do I word that to put it together? Sometimes it flows really easy for me that like
Mhm.
I can put myself in both of those shoes. Other times I'm just like, how the fuck do I get this like fucking Venn diagram to match up, you know?
Yeah.
In which case I will literally like either draw myself a Venn diagram or just put it into Chat GPT and be like, how could I talk to both of these people at once and make this work for both of them? And a
Okay.
lot of the times it'll just give you like a bulleted list. And then from there, it gets my brain sparking enough to be like, oh yeah, that's how these two things can coexist.
Mhm.
So, you could also do that. Like, there's a lot of the like fun, real things that we post that are kind of more like stylist and potential guest like together. So, when I show our culture, like our funny videos that we do, or like when we're traveling and we're just having fun together and laughing, like that is showing my guests and my potential guests like how fun we are as people, but it's also inadvertently, and I don't even have to say anything about this, like, I don't even have to post it, but, like, psychologically, it's also showing stylists that might wanna come work for us, like, look how fun they are together as a team. So
Right.
there's a whole bunch of stuff you're probably already doing that you don't even realize are doing both of those things at once, but that totally is already. So and the other thing that I've realized too is you don't necessarily have to always point that shit out. You don't have to say, like, "Stylist this and this person that," like, you don't have to be that, like, structured on all of it. Back and forth and back and forth. Yeah, you don't have to be that structured on it. So if there's anything I love technology. If there's anything that, you do wanna hit a certain way, like, yeah, sure, like, actually put that in your caption or actually talk about it. But for the most part, like, if you can just imply it, I think that comes off really, natural too. I think a lot of the times when we're trying to be so specific, we almost oversell the point. And yeah, and, like, think of, like, certain other brands that you see that, like, you see the certain things, like, too much or it's, like, too obvious, not really too much, but, like, too obvious, and then you're just like, "Yeah, was it wait, did I miss something? Like, isn't that the whole point of the whole video?" Like, so
So do you think that I should, because I can put it in ChatGPT, that's no problem. I'll make the
yeah,
prompt pretty long and detailed. Do you think I should say I'm targeting these people? Or do you think like I
I would pick
basically
2.
two? Okay.
So not
Okay.
necessarily everybody all the time, right? So
Yeah.
and then kind of going back to like our last conversation where it cycles around. So
Yes.
if that's easier for you to just talk to one person, then
And then
cycle through. Yeah,
mhm.
then cycle and then especially if that's like less mental load,
Yeah.
So if it's just like today I'm talking to stylists, tomorrow I'll talk to clients. Today I'm talking to stylists, tomorrow I'm talking to clients, like whatever, fine.
Yeah.
But if there is like times when you're like, oh, I think this would actually hit both,
Okay. Yeah,
then
I'll
use that.
go. I can do that. I'll do one at first, and then I'll do the second one. Then I'll ask it to conjoin the two for like a layout for a monthly posting, like
Yeah. And then
monthly
that's a
posting
great
plan.
way. Yeah. And it's a great way to recycle content too. So if
Yeah.
you have like it could be kind of the same video. So you'll see a lot of the same kind of videos that I just have edited in different ways on my page. Like one time it'll talk to stylists and be like, "Hey, this is like how we do the methodology." And then another time it'll be like, "Hey, do you struggle with X, Y, or Z? Like this is the method that fixes that." One of those is talking to stylists, one of those is talking to clients. So
Yes.
it can be the same thing. You recycle
Okay.
that same content, put some different words in it, and now cool.
Something
You've got
else.
another
Okay.
post.
Perfect. That makes sense. All right. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. So also remember that our client perception is our like brand power. So your potential guests, I talk about a 3-second rule. We have a 3-second rule in everything that we see, whether that's a person coming to your page for the first time, whether that is them stepping into your space. Um, think of the first time you got into somebody's car and, like, you sit in somebody's car and immediately you're like, "What does it smell like? What is it like, what do you see? Is it disgusting? Is it clean?" Like, this is going to be the same process. You go over to somebody's house for the first time. Are you, like, immediately impressed? Or are you immediately not impressed? Okay. So again, put yourself in the role of a consumer, not a producer. This goes into your Instagram. This goes into your salon. This goes into everything that you're putting out there or that people could perceive. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. So, what do they smell? What do they see? What is perceived in that time? So, this is also going to go into your forms. This is going to go into your like pre-booking process. If you book online, what's that process look like? Do they have to go through like hoops and bounds to get to where they're going? Or is it like in those 3 seconds, is it easy for them to get somewhere? So that 3-second rule is huge for me. Um, let's see. I have some notes. I also this is kind of into that, but I use the analogy of like going into a really nice hotel versus a Motel 6. Okay. So let's say both of these places are $300 a night. In that luxury hotel where you know everything that you're getting ahead of time for that $300 a night, that $300 is gonna feel like a steal if they say it comes with a massage, turn down service, you have a hot tub on your balcony, you have an ocean view suite, and, dinner is in the lounge, and there's a wine and cheese tray that you can pick off of, and you're like, "Damn, for $300 a night? Like, fuck yeah, that's a deal." Okay? Versus the Motel 6 where you might get bugs and, the toilet actually doesn't really drain $300 a night. You'd be like, "What the actual fuck?" Right? So value is perceived, but so is everything else. So when that client is coming into your situation and that perceived value is immediate there, if they've already looked at your pricing because that's really transparent, and then you have a Motel 6 Instagram feed and you're trying to charge luxury hotel prices or vice versa, there's gonna be some disconnect there, and they're gonna be like, "Weird," and then we're gonna lose trust, right? So that's a big one to look through too. Does all of your branding, does all of your marketing, does your voice, does everything speak to the prices that you have, or are there certain things that that value seems weird? So again, put yourself in the role as a consumer and think about that and give yourself 3 seconds. Even if that means you set a timer on your watch to pull something up, or honestly, I swear by having someone else do this for you. If you have a girl group chat, if you would like me to do, like if you're listening to this and you are like, hey, actually, I would love that, like send me a DM and we can 100% do that. Like I would absolutely love it. But have a trusted individual look at your stuff like it is a client interaction and tell them like, I want you to take 3 to 5 seconds to make an impression off of all this. Don't take long. Blaze through it. What do you think? So I think that's really powerful too. Okay. So the next thing is like, does your brand have like a signature framework? So this could vary, and maybe you don't, like it's not something that you necessarily need, but what is it if you do have something that you are super passionate about that you're like, this is what sets me apart from everybody else in this industry, or like this is what I do different. If you have something like that, lean into that and lean into it regularly. So like for me and my like education side of things, I'm always going back to like, I don't believe that education for hair loss should cost as much as it does. Like it's fucking bonkers to me what education like just costs. So that's something that's like signature in my framework that I am constantly coming back to. That I'm like, hey, this is like really like a core value for me, so I'm gonna explain it. On my like salon side of things, a big core value there that we're constantly touching on is the fact that like it's not snooty and hoity-toity. Like that's a thing that I'm super passionate about in the salon sense. Like we're luxury without it being stuffy. Like I literally have luxury without the stuffy shit on the front page of my website. So like I don't want a snooty, we're too perfect for you luxury salon. No fucking thanks. Like I believe in cuss words, so I use them. It doesn't have to be your thing, but what is it that makes you different? And lean into that and talk about it regularly. So as far as kind of wrapping things up and giving you guys something to kind of after go about, audit your Instagram. Look at everything, and like I said, maybe you have a friend do this for you, but go through and like see how it makes you feel, or like trade with a friend and be like, I'll do yours if you do mine, but how does it make you feel? What's your first 3-second rule? Can people find where you're at, what you do, and who you are quickly in your website, in your marketing, in anything? And then map out your own client journey. So, like, what does a client go through to get to you? What does that look like? Pretend you're a client, go through your forms, test all your, if you have like mini chat prompts or anything like that, test those, see what it looks like from a client's end. If you haven't, that's a really important part of that entire experience. Like, what does your consult look like from somebody else's perspective? Again, this is a great time to go and ask your longstanding clients or even your brand new clients that like, hey, what was it about our consult or our install or our first appointment or blah blah blah, like what was it that really sold you over somebody else or really made you be like, damn, she is awesome? Ask. Chances are whatever's drawing them in is also going to draw other people in too. So, and then I want you guys to also ask yourself, what like 3 things do you want your brand to be known for? So this is gonna be more so like those emotional things. That's more so like, I don't wanna be like, "Oh, pretty hair, great results," nothing like that. Like, I want this to be like, when people think of your brand, do they think integrity? Do they think loyalty? Do they think like, what is it that they're like, "Damn, she's got it figured out." Like, that's these 3 words that I want. So, and little in note, you can't build a brand that stands out if you're trying to blend in. So be you, be authentic, be whoever the fuck you want to be remembered. Because at the end of the day, there are thousands of vanilla fucking people out there trying to be like the next person. So if you are just unapologetically you, whatever that means, you're going to find people that are kick ass and are just like you and that you're going to vibe with every single day when you walk in, whether that be as a stylist that's working next to you or the client in your chair. So always remember to be authentic and be remembered. So that is my little TED talk for the day. I hope you got some
Thank
good little
you.
nuggets. You're welcome.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
Absolutely. If anybody wants me to, again, do any kind of Instagram audits, take a look at anything, have any kind
I,
of stuff like that. Yeah,
I would
I'd be
love that.
absolutely. I'd be more than willing.
Especially my website too,
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
because I've been working with someone and it's you
I
just go
got
look.
you. Got it.
Okay.
I feel like
That's
website
my
people are always one of those that it's like they're either fantastic or like you kind of want to throw trash at them.
Yeah.
Uh,
I love some of the things, but then I'm like, there's just a lot.
Fair.
They
Touche.
used to love Chat GPT to like create some things,
Okay. Right.
which is fine. But
That should be a framework though, not a cut and paste.
yeah. Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes. Thank you.
I got you.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Anytime.
Okay, bye.
Have a great one, guys, and I will see you on the next episode.